I told you, Paul Revere, now this is no bum steer, it's from the Handy.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forrester. We're going to go through the Sunday, September 16th races at Hastings Race Course. We're here at the Derby Barn Grill, of course, at 176 and 0 Avenue. If you can't make it out to Hastings, make it down here to the Derby Barn Grill to watch the simulcast racing from Hastings, as well as many other tracks.
Absolutely, yeah. Always a lot of TVs, a lot of tracks on tap here. You can watch everything here. Great food, great atmosphere, nice girls. Bringing the cold beer.
Yep.
Great to come here. You know, if you're not wanting to go into the races all the way into town, if there's some traffic or
the
you got to be home early.
The bridge has got trouble. Imagine
or if
that.
you told your wife you just run to the store.
Come here.
That's right.
All right, first race, $5,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 of the year. Going to go 6.5 furlongs. 5,000, as I mentioned, is the claiming price. I've gone to the 7 horse, This Bruise for You. I like this horse a lot. I think this horse is going to get a good trip, dropping from 15 down here for the 5. This horse has a nice win earlier this year. They thought enough of him to keep him up at a higher claiming price. But now it's time to start winning races, and this horse has been going to give him a little class relief, and I think he can sit the trip maybe just off of the 2 horse Notice Sal and perhaps the 6 horse Wander About You. But I think he's got enough speed to get into a good spot. I really like This Bruise for You. I put Notice Sal, the 2 horse, another one dropping in class, in for second. This one isn't in the best of form, though. This one's got 3 consecutive 7th place finishes, where at least This Bruise for You has been in good form and has had some excuses why he's finished 7th last time. So I definitely like the 7 and 2 in here. I think they're the class. I put the 3 Macho Keto in for 3rd. I like him a little bit better going long, but he's going to cut back to a sprint. But at least he's sharp. The barn's going well. Let's go 7-2-3 in the opener.
I agree with you. I got This Bruise for You on top. I like the 7. Look at the horse we've been running against. With Council, Lord Henry, Canucks Roar, Sartorialist.
Way better than these horses.
Way tougher. Now he drops in for 5. He looks like pretty formidable in here. I have him on top. And I have your other horses. I just reversed them. I have Macho Keto for 2nd. Yep. He's been running against, he's been running, since he hit this level, he's been really salty. Ran 2nd to Pacal, came back and won over Ton of Pride, Gentleman Bet. Not wonderful horses, but he made no mistake. Notice Sal, again, he's been running against tougher, but I just don't, I don't see enough, right? I don't know. It seems like he's been getting beat too far. I mean, 3-point play, McKinley Square, Royal, they're tougher horses for sure. But I can't back him with a lot of confidence, so I put him in 3rd. I got 7, 3, and 2. On to the 2nd, Fillies and Mares, claiming 3,000 non-winners of the year, and I went to the 6, DeVilbiss. This is a real non-winners of the year.
This is
and it is DeVilbiss's turn, I believe.
Lovely girls.
She's really been knocking on the door. She had that 1/10. I don't know what happened that day. Other than that, it's all 2nds and 3rds. Last time she ran to include the Grand, who dropped into this condition.
That was a really good race.
Much the best, and she was the best of the rest. Include the Grand, figured to be very tough in there, and was. So I got her on top. The 2nd spot I put Tick Me Off. Just got beat a half length by DeVilbiss last time. She's maybe starting to kind of get closer. Alexander Marty sticks with her. And the 3rd spot I put JJ's Wander. Another one, just got beat a length the time before. Ran into that very tough, include the Grand race. This race figures to be quite a bit softer. Hamill and Van Overshot, 33% together. That's good enough for me. 6, 4, and 1.
Yeah, I agree with the 6 horse DeVilbiss. A good runner-up effort to include the Grand. I think a repeat of that race gets her the money. This is not a tough assignment at all. This category has come up quite light. I think DeVilbiss is the best horse.
It's her turn.
Yeah, I put the 1 JJ's Wander. If DeVilbiss doesn't get up and win it, I think maybe the speedy JJ's Wander will be the one that gets the job done. Had to come from off the pace last time. They went 22 flat, 45 flat, and just a little too fast. I couldn't quite catch up to the speedy, include the Grand, but there's no other speed like that in here, so maybe this one can lead for a long ways. And I put the 5 horse See Eye to Eye. I just had to pick a 3rd horse. I don't particularly like anyone. I like 6 and 1, or 1 6. So those are the 2 I like. For the balance, we're picking a 3rd horse. I'm going to try See Eye to Eye. I'm not crazy about the horse, but definitely like the 6 horse a lot, DeVilbiss.
Yeah.
I went 6, 1, and 5. On to the 3rd race. We got some marathon stars here. 1 7/16 they're going to go.
How many times has that passed the wire?
They hit They start way back where the 6.5 furlongs is, and they hit the wire three times. So they'll hit the wire once, go around, and then go around again. Then you can start cheering and cashing tickets. Don't cheer
Don't cheer
one
too soon.
lap too soon.
You never want the jockey to cheer too soon.
Yeah, no, this happened.
Disaster.
It
does happen.
You need a lap counter. Field of 5 here. This is not a super tough handicapping assignment here. I've gone to the 5 Sufi Dancer. I just thought the fractions were crazy last time. 46, 112. It was ridiculous. This horse is still running third behind Texas Buccaneer and Diablo Pass. I mean, they were well off the pace. And I just don't see anyone. I'm hoping it doesn't happen like that again. The Sufi Dancer was far too keen early. I think she'll be a little more cleverly rated, and I think she'll be tough to beat. I put the 4-horse Texas Buccaneer in for second. Good claim, and ended up running well and just getting up to win that last marathon race. A nice big horse that definitely is built and suited for this kind of distance. You don't want a little short back, short backed horse that with no leg. They got this thing's a city block long, and he's built to route. And he definitely showed it last time. I put the 3 Yvette's Pride in for third. Another one that could be close to what should be a slow pace. I'm hoping for a slow pace. So I went 5, 4, and 3. But I definitely like Sufi Dancer to rebound, run more like he did in marathon number 1 when he won pretty comfortably. Yeah,
he did. He was the most impressive the day that they had the 2 legs. I went with Texas Buccaneer. I'm having trouble seeing this race kind of set up. I'm thinking it's going to be Sufi Dancer and Yvette's Pride on top, but with only 5 horses, I think they're going to be going fairly slow, and nobody's going to be too far out of it. I don't think.
At least you get good. That's the one thing. That's the one thing about a back runner. If you get an 11-horse field, you are at a big disadvantage.
You could really get the
5-horse field. I mean, you get a back runner that's laying third. You have no traffic to overcome.
It's not going to be a problem.
Then they really run their A race, but yeah.
So for that reason, I put Texas Buccaneer on top, and I put Diablo Pass, the horse that just about beat him last time, in second. He just missed. He was flying late. And I put Yvette's Pride in third. It could be Sufi Dancer in third. It could be Sufi Dancer the whole way. I don't know. It's a pretty. It all depends how this race is going to set up, and I just can't. I'm having trouble picturing it in my mind. I'm having trouble wrapping my brain around it.
What kind of pace scenario you're going to get? I can see Yvette's Pride going with Sufi Dancer. Then they're both done, and then it's going to be definitely a.
But even going with each other, it's Marlowe and Antonio Reyes, 2 decent riders here. Are they foolish enough to kill each other off?
Going that far?
So, tough to say. But I went with Texas Buccaneer. As you mentioned, the horse is built to go this far. Fernando, I think, really suits him. Him and Mark are 50% together when he rides for Mark Luce. They've had some success together. So I got him on top. The horse just beat last time Diablo Pass and Yvette's Pride. 4-3-1 for me in a pretty wide open
5-horse field.
5-horse field for the endurance race. There's one more of these to go after this one.
Yeah, they got a mile and 11/16. They would start at the mile and a 16th start, and then they'll still hit the wire 3 times. Just a little farther around.
Mile 16th start. On to the 4th, claiming 5,000 non-winners of 2 on the year for 3-year-old fillies. And I've gone to the outside, another Mel Snow runner, Kaching Cash. I'm banking on Mel to have a good weekend. I got a few of his. Kaching Cash.
And Marlowe, too.
Another one. This is very similar to the horse we talked about in the first. This Bruce for you. But running against much tougher. 17.5, 17.5, 15, $25,000 level. As you mentioned, time of year to win races. We're almost into October. Mel drops his horse down to 5,000. I think she, it's just too big a drop to ignore. She's been running pretty good. Only got beat 4 lengths by remembering when and what a score. So I think Kaching Cash is too good. The second spot I put another one that's dropping, but it's had some trouble, is Victoria's Spirit. Ran 7th last time in that same race, so obviously Kaching Cash a lot closer. However, it does pick up Amadeo Perez. Amadeo and Jody are 30% together. Nothing wrong with that. Definitely in the hunt. And in third spot, I put Nata Loca, a lightly raced horse out of the Jim Brown barn. Jim Brown and Antonio Reyes
killing them.
Also killing them. Yeah, they're 20% together, and they've been winning a lot. Another one ran for 5. Was really impressed with that day. It was a big field, looked pretty good. Took a chance, bumped her up to the 12.5 level. She didn't fit there. She drops back down, gets her old jock, Antonio Reyes, who was aboard the winner. What a score that day also for Jim Brown. I have her in third spot. She's definitely in the mix here, too. I went 8, 4, and 7.
Yeah, I like the 4-horse Victoria's Spirit in here. Yeah. I'm a little concerned. The horse was scratched. There's been a scratch on this horse in the last little bit. And hoping everything's okay. But this horse broke bad, was 4 wide the whole race, and that's why the horse ran 7th against What a Score, because I liked that horse quite a bit that day. I know it was 12-1, but still, I believe I picked him 2nd or 3rd. But Victoria's Spirit, definitely better than that race. It shows you. I mean, this horse had what could go wrong, did go wrong last time. And definitely looking for him to rebound, or her to rebound. I put the 1 horse, Catalia. I don't mind this filly at all for Gary Sates. Broke her maiden. I know at maiden special weight level. It wasn't a tough maiden special, beating Liberty Lake. But then she was given a couple of tough tests, ran into Long Glory and then Evelyn Stancer. The last time had the 9-hole. I thought she fought on reasonably well against What a Score. She too was extremely wide the whole race. And I just like what I saw. This horse did not quit. You know, it looks like, okay, Mike, it did quit around 6, but still, it was compromised by a poor trip, and I think this horse from the rail might get the proper trip and be very dangerous at the right price, and gets Jeffrey Birmingham, a very capable long shot rider. And I put the 3, Plain Jane, in for 3rd. I didn't know how to put in for 3rd, but at least the horse is hitting the board a lot, and the Snow Barn's been going well. John's had a great season, so I went 4, 1, and 3, but I definitely like the 4 horse Victoria's Spirit. I know I've left your Kaching Cash out of the mix, but I like Victoria's Spirit a lot. On to the 5th race. And we got a maiden 10 grander going 6 furlongs. Got some 2-year-olds here. I'm going to head down to the rail to Sun Soleil, a horse that just ran 3.5 furlongs in his last start. And I thought performed admirably, running a decent 3rd. I think this Son of Sun Gold will appreciate the stretch out to 6 furlongs. I didn't see a ton of speed in here other than the 6 Uniqua. So I think this one might be able to get out there and get into a good spot. I just don't think the horse was best suited to 3.5 furlongs, and I'm hoping that the 6 hits him perfect, and I'm going to try him to win it. Put Manu in for 2nd, a filly dropping from maiden allowance. I ran against some pretty good fillies there, and didn't get the best of trips. Was 4 wide. It says hung, but I mean, when you're 4 wide, you're supposed to hang. You know, 4 wide and hung shouldn't be in the same sentence, but they obviously had some problems. It's just chalked up to a bad trip. But this horse had a bit of a break in between races. Pedro back in the iron, so he didn't ride on Saturday at Hastings because he's in Winnipeg, but riding, I think it's, what's the gray horse? The gray horse of Greg Tracy's a 2-year-old that pretty impressive winner. But great, he's back at Hastings.
He's in Winnipeg on Saturday, and Fernando Perez is in Edmonton on Saturday,
riding on Alberta Day. But Manu, definitely think there's some potential here. And I put the 3 horse Fox Be Gone, who's been kind of knocking at the door in his first 2 runs, ran 2 good runner-up races, and you know, the way the races have been run have helped him because he is a late runner. He hasn't had no speed early, but they've been banging heads early, and he's been catching tiring horses, but I think he probably will again. So I went 1, 5, and 3.
I have the same top horse. I had a lot of trouble with this race. There is not much form and not much really to go on here. This is a tough one to pick. I'm not a guy that always uses Bayers. I don't put a lot of stock in Bayers.
It's hard.
But
it's hard here.
But Sun Soleil had a 48 Bayer, and that is just head and shoulders above anybody else. I think if he runs anything close to that back here, he's in the winner's circle. The 2nd spot, I put the horse you just mentioned, Fox Be Gone. 2 runner-up efforts. As you mentioned, he's a big closer, but maybe he's starting to put it together a little bit. Maybe he can lay a little bit closer, and that puts him in the mix. So I put him in the 2nd spot. And in the 3rd spot, I put a first-time starter on the outside, Irish Final. That 37-2 looks pretty good. Nice little work. Richard Hamill takes the call. Him and Charlene Miller are 23% together. Pretty good out of 48 mounts, so pretty good test. And 1, 3, and 9 for me in a race. It's a question mark. I really like Sun Soleil after that.
So do I. I like that horse a lot.
I like Sun Soleil a lot. After that, you know, as far as your tries and supers, best of luck. Maybe roll the dice.
The horse Pedro is riding on Saturday's Tiggertown.
That's the one. Oh, yeah, he is a nice one.
Tiggertown, the great colt.
He is a nice colt, really nice colt. He will be a short price in Manitoba, I would imagine. On to the 6, Fillies and Mares, $5,000 non-winners of the year. Actually, non-winners of 60 days as these are written. And because of that, a horse that fits snugly into that condition is number 11. Yes. Way to the outside, Holy Cougar. Troy Taylor and Mario Gutierrez, we know they like to win together. They're always pretty deadly. When she first showed up at Hastings this year, boom, out of the box, she wins by 8. Comes back going long, which is totally not her gig. and it was just too much. She still won. Then came back for 15, which might have been a mistake. She ended up 5th by 8 that day. Now she drops back down. She fits that condition onwards of 60 days very nicely. In the 11-hole, Mary's going to have a pretty good shot. Put her where she wants, where he wants her. She's going to be right.
19. He won from the 19-hole.
He did win for the 19-hole earlier this year.
11's nothing.
Yeah, this is nothing. And he's going to be able to, probably, he's going to be out of trouble there. So he should be able to get the lead or be just off the lead. The horse I like in second is another horse that had a similar kind of trajectory. She won the 5, then won at 7,500, then went up to that same 15 against My Bail, Lasting Spice. It's Diana's Legacy.
Yeah.
She didn't have any luck there. She drops right back down to the non-words of 60-day level. Another one that fits perfectly into this condition. I have her in second. And in the third spot, I put Remarkably Free out of the Rob Gilker barn. Amadeo Perez sticks with. Just got beat ahead by Perfect Hostess last time. Perfect Hostess, always a salty one in these kind of dashes. So she figures to definitely be part of it too. She'll be closing late. Into those horses. Excuse me, 11, 1, and 9 for me.
Yeah, I agree. 11 and 1 are definitely, as you mentioned, taking advantage of the 60-day non-winners, the rule we have here. They're both multiple winners. They both, those are two tough fillies to run into in a quote non-winners of the year race when a lot of these haven't won a race. It's kind of tough for a lot of them. But I think Holy Kuga gets the trip. I think she likes the outside. Tends to get out a little bit. She likes being off the rail a tad, and so it's perfect. I think Mario can get her into a comfortable spot. There's not a lot of speed in here. I think she can clear and at least clear enough to get into the 2 or 3 path, and that's good enough. The one Diana's Legacy, as you mentioned, definitely a top filly at this level, and she's going to be dangerous. She showed that when the last time she's been this low. She crushed them, and she can run some fast times. And I put the 3. I just differ in the third spot. I put Victory with Class in there. Going to give her a shot after being freshened up. Reunited with Richard Hamill. He's got a lot of run out of her. You can go back when Hamill rides Victory with Class. There's been a lot of success, or at least hitting the board anyway. So the freshening up, decent works. Maybe this one can get third. But 11 and 1, 111. I think those are your 2 horses. You definitely need them both in the pick 3s or pick 4s. But I went 11, 1, and 3. On to the 7th race, a $7,500 claimer for older horses, going 6.5 furlongs. I see a lot of speed in here. Wow, there's a lot of pace in this one. And I think the 1 Cherokee Tier, this horse hasn't been seen in over a year, but I think the works are good. The connections are excellent for getting a horse to come back. And I just see a favorable pace scenario for Cherokee Tier. And I just think he's the best horse. If he's 80% ready, I think he wins anyway at this particular claiming price. So I like the 1 Cherokee Tier. I put the 7 horse Funny Face on the big class drop. I think he may be able to last. He doesn't need the lead, as he showed. He ran a good race there, sprinting on July 29th. I thought that was a very good third to Pop Artist and Full Power Ahead. Didn't get the lead, was hung out a little bit, but still rallied. And I think at this level, it's going to put him right there. I mean, Cherokee Tier is going to need a good run to beat a horse like Funny Face. It was a little bit better than a $7,500 horse. I put the 2 horse Joy of the Lord in for third. I liked what I saw. Finally saw a good race out of him. He was asked to go long in his first up run this year, and I know the connections like him. He's a really good horse. This horse is a real win machine. He won almost half of his starts last year. But I guess starting long and some of the races, Tommy Danziger, Bear Rock and Roll, that $15,000 claiming level isn't usually that tough, but it was tough this year. It was, So he's hooked into
because the 25s weren't really going very much, so you did have to run against Pop Artists.
He's hooked into the dirty, tough Mile of 16th horses, and his forms shows it. And it looks, it looks awful, but the horse is better than that. And he finally showed it when he got out of that, running against some horses that he's a little more, competitive with, and he was a good second. So he can sprint. He's shown good sprint races in the past, and I don't see him. It's not a big surprise if he were to get third. But I went 1, 7, and 2.
I agree with you on the 1 Cherokee Tier. As you mentioned, the horse has been off a year, but Gilker is 35% with the horses have been off 180 days or more. All the connections are there. The horses he was running against before he left were extremely tough. If he's ready at all, he's a handful here. In second spot, I put Arkhill. As you mentioned, a lot of gas in this race. And he's a guy that kind of likes to sit just behind horses. He could kind of have first run at the speed if they start to falter. And he's coming off a win, and he's a horse with a little bit of confidence can be pretty tough. So I got him in second. And perhaps the speed of the speed. This is a horse that ran off the board 2 starts ago. Swiss Arrogant ran in 16 and 2. And both me and Mike thought there's no way that's going to happen again. He come back and won again. So I'm not going to leave him off the ticket this time. I'll put him in third. There is quite a bit of gas. He seems to me like he's the speed of the speed, though. And I can see him getting past late, but maybe he puts away the other horses, and he's the one that hangs on.
He's faster than Wimbroom. He's faster than probably than Dictatorship and Lookout Dubai. But yeah,
so
he might get pressure at some point.
Yeah, he's going to get pressure, but he should be able to put them behind him. Maybe Cherokee Tier and Arco run him down late, though. So I got 1, 4, and 5. For me in the 7th, on to the 8th race, the nightcap for the weekend. 3 and up, a barn burner. 3-year-olds
2,400.
2,400 who haven't run first, second, or third at the meet. Unless you've run first, second, third in one of these races.
One of these races for 3,000 or more.
And the horse that keeps doing that is Hurry On Home, the 4 horse. That's who I've gone to. 2 seconds in these races behind Drexel and Mr. Instigator. He figures.
Yep, good run.
Amadeo Perez sticks with. He's knocking on the door at these races. Decent post, 4. I like him. Second spot, I put a horse I threw in there last time with Surprisal. He'd been off a long time. He came back. I like the fact that Amadeo was with him. He was a class horse before he left. He comes back right to the bottom. Hamill, as I mentioned earlier, Hamill and Venom Shot have had a lot of success together before. That just got beat 4 lengths after being off all that time. He needed that race. He could be tough. And the horse I put in third is Huffman. Pedro Alvarado sticks with for Deidre Bell. Just got beat 2 lengths by Mr. Instigator and Hurry On Home in the last one. I figure he'll be in the mix. 4, 9, and 6 for me on the nightcap.
Yeah, it's not often you can tell the horse has been around for a while when you have retired riders on form. April Friesen, I've been riding Surprisal, and that's where I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Gary Cruz, who's still riding, but Giovanni Franco.
Yeah.
There's some. Anyway, the point being is that he's been off for a while, but still that comeback race from Surprisal I thought was very good against Mucho Verde, MBK, and Dakar guy. All he needs to do is either repeat that race or at least get close to it, and I think he can win the money. As you mentioned, Richard Hamill rides. I think this horse is very live. I put the 4 horse Hurry On Home in for second. I mean, this is...
He likes her on second?
Yes, he does. He had the 11 hole last time. No luck there. Ran into a good Mr. Instigator, but still was traveling well at the end of that race. Actually, Amadeo gave him a great ride. The 11 hole didn't end up being an issue. He ended up sneaking up the inside. He rode a great race. But he's live in here. And I put the 7 horse Smarty Fawcett. This horse was freshened up last time. And a little break in between runs. I thought he ran pretty good sitting in behind the pace. And ran a kind of not a no-threat fourth, but still ran a good race. And he can move forward in his second run after a bit of a layoff. So I put him in for third. But I do like the 9 Surprisal. I think he's your horse in here. I went 9, 4, and 7. Well, that'll do it for the analysis of the Sunday, September 16th races at Hastings. And once again, 150 post. Up next on screen will be a look at our selections, a quick recap of our picks on the day. Here comes my selections. Back in race number 1. I decided on the 7 horse, This Bruise for You, 7, 2, and 3. In the second race, I went to the 6, De Vilbus. I went 6, 1, and 5. In the third race, I went to the 5, Sufi Dancer, 5, 4, 3 for me. In the fourth race, I went to the 4, Victorious Spirit, 4, 1, and 3. Fifth race, number 1, Sun Soleil, 1, 5, and 3. Sixth race, went to the outside of the 11, Holy Kuga, 11, 1, and 3. In the seventh race, the comebacking number 1, Cherokee Tier on the class drop. He's been off for a while, but I hope he's going to get the job done. I went 1, 7, and 2. And in the 8th and final, I went to the 9. Another one, second run off a big layoff. Surprisal, I went 9, 4, and 7.
And on to my picks. I agree with Mike in the daily double. In the first, I went with the 7, This Bruise for You, over the 3 and the 2. And the 6 and the second, De Vilbus, over the 4 and the 1. In the third, I went with Texas Buccaneer to repeat in the endurance races, 4, 1, and 3. In the fourth, I went with the 8, Kaching Cash, over the 4 and 7. In the fifth, I agree with Mike in the 2-year-old race, number 1, Sun Soleil, over the 3 and the 9. In the sixth, Way to the Outside, Holy Kuga, number 11, over the 1 and the 9. In the seventh, number 1, Cherokee Tier, over the 4 and the 5. And in the nightcap, I went with Amadeo Perez on the 4, Hurry On Home, over the 9 and the 6.
Well, that'll do it for the Sunday, September 16th edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. We would like to thank everyone for tuning in. Hopefully, we've given you a little bit more information, help you make those winning selections, at least make your day a little bit more pleasurable. We do the work for you. You can just go there with our picks, and hopefully we're having a hot day.
At the very least, you can just cross out who we picked, too.
No.
if we're cold, but we're never cold. We're in about 50%.
All right. On behalf of Drew, I've been Mike. Thanks again for tuning in to Handicappers Corner, and we'll see you next week.
Sincere. I'm picking Valentine, cause on the morning line, the guy's got him figured at 5 to 9. So make it F and 10, he wins it by a half.